Do you guys follow up with your patients years later after they've been done using isotretinoin? I don't know if you do that, Carla. I mean, I've only been a dermatologist for five years.
Like obviously with isotretinoin, I think that one of the things that I mean, obviously once the patients are done with isotretinoin, they usually don't come back because their problem is done.
Yeah,
So for that
exactly.
reason, they never come and say 10 years later, hey, I'm doing great. They just don't come. Like somebody asked me like, oh, are there any studies about like long-term side effects and what are the long-term side effects of Accutane? I actually looked into it, and there was like a report back in 93 after 10 years of experience, and there was nothing in terms of like long-term side effects. And then a most quote unquote recent one about 7 years ago that had shown no like long-term side effects after 30 years of use. So for that reason, I
Yeah.
think that, I feel pretty comfortable giving it to patients that are fairly young, knowing that they have, if they had like decades and decades of side effects, I probably wouldn't do it. But given that this
Yeah.
medication has been around for so many decades and it's so good, I feel comfortable giving it to even like young people.
So do I. Yeah, like I've given it to 7-year-olds. Like that's the youngest I've ever given it to. But no, I totally agree. And people are surprised. They're like, is there no long-term study? Well, there is an ongoing long-term study because this is a
Right.
licensed drug in the FDA. So
Exactly.
it's a never-ending study because every time there's a problem related to isotretinoin, it should get flagged up to the FDA, and they keep a
Right.
log of it. We know a lot about this drug. It's been around for a long time, and it has had licensing approvals in multiple countries all over the world, and it's
Right.
probably the most prescribed drug. I think it is the most prescribed drug in dermatology.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So if
Mhm.
it caused all these long-term permanent side effects that everyone
It
reads
wasn't
about,
so
or
years ago.
we wouldn't be able to prescribe it anymore. Like
Right.
it would be taken off. I think, like Sarah at last is saying, are just rumors. I mean, I think they're just rumors. I think one person perhaps had something happen to them 10 years after taking isotretinoin, and they say that it's due to the isotretinoin, but that's impossible to connect. So
Yeah, and for
yeah, and I
as
like,
much as
yeah,
39 as we prescribe worldwide, we would have heard of
yeah,
more of these like long-term effects, for
yeah,
as
like
long as it has been around. I
exactly.
agree with CH367. Trust your
Just
doctor.
the diet.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. I would never give someone a treatment for their skin that's going to hurt them systemically in the long
Mhm.
term. Like that would be totally unethical. Like,
Exactly.
even I prioritize systemic problems over skin. So the idea that we would prescribe something that would give long term, major problems to people to correct what many people see as a cosmetic problem, which is acne, that's totally insane. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I would never do that. It's just insulting, and
Right.
you wouldn't do that either. So,
No,
we
and
do
I
what's
think
best for the patient. Thing is, people are saying, like there's a Facebook group with 10,000 people
yeah.
about permanent damage, you know, and so I would say, so to a patient who's asking me questions like this, like I'm on a Facebook, what's going on, I would say, like, if
But
this is the kind of thing that you look to information for, if this is what you believe, and no matter what I tell you, you're not going to be reassured if you're my patient, then
then
I
probably
would,
this is not a great drug for you, like you're saying.
yeah, it's not the treatment for you because you'll be freaked out. Like Alex is saying, I think it's just concerning because the exact mechanism is still so unknown. That's not true. We know how
Yeah.
Accutane works.
Mhm.
You know, we the exact mechanism is well understood.
And that's why we
So
love it because we know how it
yeah, that's
works.
part of the reason we love it because it's the side effects are predictable. You can tell your patient exactly what to expect. We understand the dosing. Like I know how much I give and what that's going to cause in terms of dryness and we understand the mechanism of action. It's a well-established drug. So, and so Sarah's saying, I'm just wondering why those Facebook groups exist in the first place.
I don't know. That's a
I
good
have no
question.
idea. Yeah, it's a great question.
I always
Ask the
tell
person who
myself if
started the
I,
Facebook group.
yeah, exactly. Ask the administrator. They may have an answer for you. Okay,